No, I don't think you can hear. It'll be okay. Just boil your water. Alright. Is the camera rolling? You can hear me, right?
Yeah, I can.
Alright.
Is this okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Right.
Let me just adjust the volume.
Okay.
Okay. I think we're ready.
Okay.
Oh, hold on. Alright. Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
Charn, welcome
Yeah.
to my show. We had a very long chat before we started because Gary had a very important customer.
Can, no problem.
Wow, we had such a long conversation. It felt like the interview was already done outside of the camera.
Never mind, let's just keep it short and shout lah.
No problem, man. We
Okay.
can keep going on. You have a lot of interesting stories to tell me. We were talking about your bike packing. Is the water boiling? I think we might need to wait for the water to finish boiling.
Never mind, can. No
Yeah,
problem.
no, it's okay. Wait for the water to finish boiling. This is the painful way to wait for the water to finish boiling. Cut. Okay, water finish boiling. We can roll.
Okay.
So where were we?
Sure.
Thanks so much again for
Yeah.
coming on.
Right.
We got a lot of things to talk about besides the bike. About you
Oh.
and we got very heated opinions about certain things.
Let's just talk about the bike.
we talk about the bike first, then we can.
Okay,
move
okay.
on. Okay, so before we start, tell us more about yourself.
I'm Charn, so not young anymore, and I just like riding my bike lah.
How long have you
basically.
been cycling?
Cycling probably maybe 7-8 years. I think so, about there.
Okay, not COVID cyclist.
No, I unfortunately no.
And
lah.
you said you used to be doing a lot of racing.
Racing is very broad lah. So I enter the race only, but I wasn't racing for any position.
Right.
Go there is kind of whack one. Yeah.
And you do a lot of bike packing. We'll talk about that later.
At the moment,
Yeah.
more bikepacking than anything lah.
Right.
Yeah.
So you want to dive straight into the bike?
Yeah, you can ask me
we can go straight onto the bike. So this bike, we've never seen this before. I've never seen it before.
Right.
I thought because I'm not familiar with titanium, but it is actually a local Singaporean brand.
Yes, correct.
It's called Abloc Day.
Yeah.
And I asked you just now, what does Abloc mean?
Yeah, it just means full gas in French lah. It's more of a racing thing than anything else. So, but I think what my friend the message my friend wants to pass on is, if you want to do something, do it properly lah. Basically, just full gas, do properly. Even if you are sleeping lah, or you're enjoying yourself, enjoy properly lah. Don't think of work. Don't think of work.
Don't wake up in the middle of the night.
Yeah, what for? Yeah. So that was it lah.
Right.
Yeah.
So tell us more about this brand, your local Singaporean brand. It's
Yes.
your friend who does this.
Correct. So he started it at the time because he just felt that I always complain to him that bike prices are out of hand ma. Then he said, cannot be, it's very cheap only ma to build one bike. So he just got it rolling lor. And then now he's doing maybe every 2 months one bike, something like that lah.
So it's a local Singaporean brand.
He's a Singaporean guy who sources the raw materials from either the States or locally. So there are 2 sources lah. But the actual welding is done in China.
Oh.
Yeah.
So so I'm trying to get my head around this, right? So order gets placed.
Yes.
And all the supplies are all in China, is it?
Yes, but because his titanium bikes are not special, the tubes are all generic ma. It's all round tubes. So you won't find flat tubes or 3D printed dropouts. Nothing fancy, it's just normal titanium bike that you can spec the geometry. And what you are really paying for, right, from the way I see it lah, is he will tell you the truth lor, of whether you should even build a bike that's titanium, that is custom. Yeah, so like new riders, right, don't need to call him lah. No need. Yeah.
Why?
Because he will tell you to go and buy mainstream bike. Go and ride all the mainstream bike until you know what's going on. Then we can sit down together and then discuss what you really want.
Does he have a website?
Yeah, he has. So he sells like cycling apparel and so on lah. Because that one, the price also out of hand, right?
Right.
$300 for one bib cost more than a pair of shoes.
Wow.
So it's okay lah. I just do lor. If people buy, fine. If nobody buy, then never mind lah. My friends buy lor.
He's doing a good cause for keeping the bike prices down. And
It's not super cheap lah. So his retail is 3,000. I didn't pay 3,000.
no, but I mean his initial purpose was to build bikes which are affordable. Is that Am I right to say that?
Broadly speaking, as affordable as can be lah. Because there are good values out there also mah, like Linsky. Linsky is actually very good brand, right? And then I think they warranty also.
How much are these frames?
These frames, 3K retail with carbon fork, and carbon post, and seat post collar. Headset, I'm not sure whether he supply or not lah. I'm not so sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how's the ordering process? How long does it take to get the bike?
Depends on when the buyer can finalize his demands.
Okay.
Yeah, so from that time, once the deposit is put down, right, you can expect to receive the bike or the frame in 1.5 months.
Wow. And
Yeah.
it's a one-man show. I mean, besides the guys who are doing it in China or whatever.
Yes, can say one man show lah, because if some customer demand that he actually literally builds the entire assemble with the wheels and so on, right, he got to do it mah. Yeah, but he don't earn from that lah. If let's say you want him to buy parts for you, right, then he buy on your behalf lor. By invoice he show you lah.
Yeah.
But he only buy warranty things lah, because he don't want to sell you things then it gets complicated when it's not warranted, and then things get lost in translation, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
How long has he been doing this? Is it?
I
very
think this
new?
one maybe about 6 months.
Oh, so new.
Yeah.
So, but previously he was doing apparels or was he
Previous apparels, I think more than a year already.
still rather new?
Yeah. New lah.
Okay.
During this time, because that's when prices got out of hand, what? Yeah. So like, I personally got quite sick of it lah. Then I know that money must be spent in marketing. Then I said, no, we just try and sell with minimal marketing lah. Then worst case is, since we got a bunch of friends, then support a bit first lor.
Yeah.
Then see how it goes from there lah.
But you've owned different kind of bikes. You own carbon. You did mountain biking also, right?
Mountain biking, I was a boy that time lah, so I'm already middle-aged, male, really middle-aged. And then mountain biking experience is when I was a teenager lah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you got into road biking.
Then after that, I got into motorcycles already.
Oh.
Yeah. Road biking is really recent.
Recently. So
Maybe
what got you into road biking?
the children were born what.
Ah.
So I lost my speed lah. Really overnight I was slow. I know why I was slow, but I can't bring myself to correct my mistakes. So I thought, okay, I guess it's time to stop this silly adventure lah. So my wife was quite happy.
Yeah.
Then my other friends also stopped mah. Then he said, buy road bike for exercise. Because we were sick of jogging, right? Then okay lor, buy road bike. And
This was eight years ago.
I guess around there.
Yeah.
I'm not very sure. So the kids were born 2007. I started probably 1 or 2 years after that lah. Around there lah. I think I'm not so sure also. But it doesn't seem like a long way back.
What bikes have you owned?
So I've owned the first one is a Polygon. So that's the first bike. Then to a Pinarello, and then Giant, and then some Chinese brand of carbon bikes.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
so I tried everything lah.
Right.
As in the famous ones and the ones that nobody wants to ride.
Yeah.
Lah.
And I know you got this bike because you were supporting a friend who started this business. But for someone who's been riding carbon, we always think that carbon is the most superior material out there in terms of performance, like speed, lightness, strength, right?
Yes.
And then going to titanium is something that, for me anyway, I will have the perception that it's heavy.
Yes.
People use it for touring.
Sure.
Which you do use it for touring.
Yes.
But coming from carbon then to titanium, right? How was it like for you?
Before I actually rode the bike is very scary lah.
Scary?
For me, because my perception is exactly like yours. So all this while is, although I participate in race, right, and although I have no impact on the result at all, I still want something that is as efficient as possible, right? You are paying the same money anyway. Then, so I was quite worried lah. So I told him, if you can build a bike that is 1.4 kilos, a frame, 1.4 kilo, I will down the money. Then he countered lor. I said, okay, fine. If I build it and it's not 1.4, you don't have to buy it from me. So fair deal. So yeah, it is always at the back of my mind that, wow, what if it's heavy and so on. Although it really has no impact because my fitness is not that kind of fitness. Then surprisingly, it was okay lah. So if in race trim, it will be sub 8. Although it's a very heavy sub 8. Yeah, but even now, like that, it's 8 flat. So I think it's okay. And in Singapore context, no mountain ma.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think okay lah. It wasn't as drastic as I thought it would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, wow. Okay, maybe if you can run us through your bike, right? So
Okay.
you go to him. He
Yes.
he specs you up with what frame size? No.
No.
How does it work?
You spec to him.
Okay.
You spec to him because as I said, he don't take new riders ma.
Mm.
So you must know at least out of 10 boxes, 7 to 8 boxes, you roughly know what you want.
Can you give us some examples?
Okay,
of how
so
does it
for
work?
me, I was riding a SL6 type of bike, geometry bike for a number of years. So I roughly know this geometry just needs some tweaking to make it visually more appealing for myself. Yeah, so we just adjust maybe the stack a little bit. The reach we adjust a little bit so that if I need to go touring or what, right, I can adjust the saddle position and so on, so that at least it's not ugly lah. Basically, yeah, nothing to do with performance lah. Just it's not ugly. So then after that, we chose the tubes. Yeah, so I think the only thing unique about this bike is the down tube is oval.
The down tube is oval.
The down tube is oval, correct. Yeah, because I told him that I don't believe that titanium is really more comfortable than carbon. Cannot be.
But that's what everyone says.
Correct. So at that time, right, before I wrote the thing, I was in that school. No way, it's bullshit. Cannot be. So I said, just make it as stiff as possible and hit 1.4 kilos for the frame. I'll pay money. Yeah. So you say, okay, then just go for it lah. He chose maybe marginally a thicker tube, the titanium tube, and then he double butted, like certain areas of the tube are thinner where there is not so much stress. So he did that, and then that's pretty much it lor.
Wow.
Yeah, so nothing, but it's nothing special. He told me that my demands are normal. It's not that it's a very special bike.
Wait, so you need to go to him
Yes.
with the exact measurements.
No, you don't. If you want, right, he can bring you to his bike fitter lah, or he can come to you lah.
Yeah.
Then if you have something, then you can build lor. But normally his customer is, I mean, in my opinion lah, if you are going to build a custom bike, right, in order to even have that thought that you are going to build a custom bike, there must be some demands that you want. Cannot be you out of nowhere, okay, let's just go custom. But
I think a lot of people are like that. Not say a lot, okay, I don't want to say a lot, but new cyclists, right? They want expensive, nice things, custom. They go there, just give me what? Give me the bike.
I think most new cyclists, they want mainstream brand lah. Like maybe a Pinarello or
Specialized.
as well as what the pros are riding, what the media is feeding them. Then from there, they can still customize what. They can buy maybe a group set that nobody use.
Yeah.
Or, I don't know, is it FSA or hydraulic group set, something like that, right? Yeah, they can go like off the beaten path also.
Yeah.
If not, they can, I don't know, get something 3D printed from Silka or something lah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no matter how you can, or you just straight away respray the bike lor.
Right.
That's quite custom really what.
Yeah.
Yeah. No point that they want to change the geometry. I think unless they know what they want, then I think can go custom lah. If not, what's the point? You can't even sell this one. Who gonna buy? In the first place, no brand.
Yeah.
Then second, you tell people custom, Custom then custom until 什么地步? Then very difficult, right, to move forward. Yeah. So I guess unless it's a Boots, right, or a Firefly, potentially good chance you can sell.
Right.
But local, I think difficult lah. Yeah.
But his majority of his sales are not local, you said, right?
No, because no local people won't buy what.
Yeah.
In the first place, no brand ma. So how to? It's very scary, to down money to no brand one.
Yeah.
Although he provide warranty, but if the next day he die, then no need to talk already, right? Yeah. So I think it's not easy lah, not easy. So thankfully he got day job lah.
Oh, okay. So this is not the full-time thing.
Yeah, because he was only born out of unreasonable prices. What? Yeah, it's not. I don't think he make much also. Yeah, so he retails for 3K. I paid 2.7 because I'm his friend.
Friend discount $300 off.
Yeah. And some more, if it didn't meet my requirement, no need to buy, you know. Yeah. So I don't think he make much. How cheap can it be? I don't think it's very cheap also.
Yeah.
Yeah, I doubt he make a lot of money.
Right.
Yeah.
So back to the story. You place exactly what you wanted on the frame.
Yes.
And then it takes him about 1.5 months to get it done.
Yes.
Right. Then
Correct.
the frame comes out like this. But do you get to spec the colors? What do you get to do?
If you want, yeah. So 3K got me 2.7 got me the frame. The anodizing I didn't pay because I say it's your canvas, you can do what you want. And then I paid extra for the fork to be sprayed.
How much more do you pay?
200 for the paint job.
And why do you choose pink?
I just like pink lah. I don't know why. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe because my Pinarello was pink. I bought it off a friend who likes pink bikes. So she then I guess from there lah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell us about performance of riding titanium.
Frankly, I think my fitness is I'm not so qualified to comment on how good or how bad it is versus a top end carbon bike. But for me it's okay. I don't find that I'm slower based on the power meter. Like for example, let's say if 150 watts gets you say about 30k per hour, for example. Okay lah, about there lor. Around there. Yeah.
Right.
In Singapore, the weather condition is it's pretty much the same most of the time. So it's about there lah. Up the mountain, I don't know because Singapore got no mountain.
Yeah.
Yeah. So don't really have impact. Only the geometry I like. Yeah, because it really it stretches me out a bit more than what the SL6 does.
Yeah, you've got the slam. It's slammed all the way. There's no spacers.
Yeah.
And
Actually,
a 110mm stem. Right?
yeah, it's for vanity lah. Partly.
No, it looks nice, right? We were talking earlier about having spacers on bikes.
Yeah.
We'll get to that about that. That's a different topic. But maybe let's wrap up the overall. Bike,
Yes,
right?
yes,
So
yes.
we've spoken about the frame.
Yes.
Tell us about the wheels.
The wheels are another friend's wheels. So he builds custom wheels. So I can spec to him. The carbon, according to him, comes from a supplier in Germany. So it's not Chinese for him. But he also tell me that he's out of the business lah. He
Right.
don't want to build wheels anymore. So I also got no wheel builder anymore.
Yeah.
So I spec to him. I spec to him what I wanted at that point of time. So these wheels are about 40,000 K of mileage, and all we do is change bearings lah.
On
Never
the
have
hubs.
to just the bearings itself only.
What
lah.
hubs are these again? Nova.
Hubs are Novatec. I think 411 or 412. I'm not sure. Also.
Very unheard of in Singapore as well.
I think those low end bike people will know lah. High end one nobody knows lah.
Yeah.
But reliable, okay. Okay. Only the bearings, the size are a bit weird for the back. Yeah, it's an odd size that is hard to find like high end bearings lah. Yeah, so even if you want to buy like NTN or I don't know what else is out there, KEC or something, right? Yeah, you normally know you just have to get some generic no brand bearings that okay lah, every 1 year you change lor. Every maybe 12,000-15,000 K you change one time lah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they've never failed me before lah in that sense. Like I've never been stuck in the middle of nowhere and then the wheel fall apart or the spoke break. So far no lah. But he stopped building wheels. Yeah. But you can at that time I can spec to him. I wanted wheels that were like the Kempi Boras or WTO where the rim bit has no hole because I don't want rim tape.
Yeah, you're telling me what's the reason you don't want rim tape?
Just OCD lah. My own mental issue lah. Yeah. Just the thought of having rim tape and then because after some time, right, if there's rim tape, you can see all the holes, right?
Yeah.
And then at the back of my mind, I wonder if this is a risk for puncture, which is of course unfounded lah. Because I don't think anybody will get a puncture from it. But just out of my own OCD, I say, okay, I don't want. If Kempi can do it, can you or not? They say, okay, can. So okay lor, he built lor.
Wow.
Then yeah lah, that's it lah.
Looks like when you were going into this building this bike, you knew exactly what you wanted.
Yeah, pretty much actually, pretty
Right?
much. Yeah.
Down to the having the rim tape or not.
The wheels are actually old. They're from the
okay.
previous bike. Yeah. Only the frame, fork, and the seat post is new.
So
Yeah,
the
yeah.
wheels has lasted you quite long.
Yeah. I mean, at least probably three over years. About 40,000 K lah. That's what I know. I think 3 to 4 years about there.
Yeah, and
quite
then
some
we
time.
were also speaking about this. This is a clincher setup on 25.
Yeah, clincher setup.
Maxxis.
Yes.
Tell us about the performance of Maxxis. Again, very unheard of having Maxxis.
The speed I don't know, right? But they are comfortable. As in, from feel, it feels better than Conti.
Oh.
Yeah, that's my perception. Because anyway, Conti and me got no luck one. Either I
I've
get...
been using Conti since the day GP4000 S2 came out.
Yeah, I've used those before also. So
Yeah.
basically, I don't have much luck lah with Conti. Yeah, so this is the first time actually I'm using. And then...
Does it roll well?
It feels okay leh. I
Okay.
mean, based on the power meter and the speed, like... Because I don't have that kind of high-end power, right? I don't think that it really make any impact lah. What I like about it is when I go through roads that are not beautiful, I don't see any cuts. That's the one thing I can see.
Does it mean that the tire itself is very thick?
I
Which
don't know.
then, has much more resistance?
It's not supposed to be because it's 170 TPI what. Yeah, it's still... I think it's very high a weave count, something like that, right? So I don't find that it is super uncomfortable, but it's okay lah. I mean, no complaints lah. What I like is I come back, I wash my bike, the tire got no cut.
Yeah.
Don't have any like small stones stuck inside.
My 5000 has small stones as slits in the tire. I sometimes have to poke the
Yeah. I mean, that's part of our duty, right? Have to lah. You want to take care of your bike, then your bike take care of you mah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What group set and power meter you have here?
Quad power meter. Groupset is kind of a mix because I didn't like too many cables. So I got a upgrade SRAM E-Tab mechanical. So this is many years back also, like quite some time back. Then Ultegra crank and cassette. Lastly,
quite rojak also.
Everything rojak lah.
Yeah.
I think
But it works for you, right?
so far no issues lah. The batteries still work surprisingly after so many years.
Yeah.
Batteries still work. Shifter no problem. Yeah, no complaints lah.
The interesting one was the brakes. Tell us about the brakes.
The brakes are just some cheapo Taiwan brakes lah. So it's because I don't know how to. I'm not so good with my hands, and because I started bikepacking, right? So I'm worried that hydro brakes. If I touch down, I've heard horror stories that the bike cannot be on its side, and it cannot be upside down. That small little things like that, and then you may lose your braking power because air somehow gets into the system. So I don't want to deal with that. So I just got cable brakes. So this one is recommended by another friend also. He said buy this because both of the pads are activated. So they will be like normal lah, instead of just one pad pushing on the other. So he said these are the way to go. Then trust him. Okay.
Why did you go rim brake?
Vein out of vanity. So mainly because I used to ride rim brakes also. And then in the rain, if you brake, there is this grinding sound because the water has dirt, carries dirt, right? So OCD also lah. With the disc brake, there's no more of that kind of sound.
Do you think this brake is more superior than rim?
I think the hydraulic one, yes.
Yeah.
So I can't use those because my brakes are like rim brakes. Frankly speaking, the performance, no big deal. When I ride my friends' bikes, I can't. Because the braking power is very forceful lah. Yeah. So I think the hydro brake's really very effective.
Right. And how heavy is your bike?
In this trim, 8 kilos.
8 kilos.
Yeah.
And on power meter, right? Why did you decide on this crank-based power meter and not pedal-based?
My friends tell me lah. He said this one is like super stable.
Yeah.
Then it's
I have the
very
same
accurate. Yeah. So I used to use the stages left side. So he's saying that crank is somehow superior lor. Then he say maybe I think the accuracy is 1%, right? Up to 1% error. So I said okay lah, then try lor. Anyway, the stages also a few years old, and then the seals were failing. So try lah.
How important is a power meter for riders?
At the moment, for me, I think it'd be hard for me to ride without one.
Just because you already started using it.
Yes.
But for new cyclists, let's say if you were to turn back time, is it necessary to get a power meter?
To me, no. To me, not so. I think if you know your body quite well, or after you've cycled for some time, you know about your body quite well, then you can gauge from there, especially in Singapore context. Yeah, because our road condition, weather condition is
very predictable.
Pretty much the same. Unless certain windy season or in the rain. Yeah, but typically, right, more or less the data is very consistent one. Yeah.
And last one is actually on the bottom bracket. I said, hey, how come there is a cable still protruding out? Why can't it run through the frame? It's because of the bottom bracket standard that you're using, right? This is
a BSA, a small one lah.
And what's the reason you got a BSA?
I wanted it to be light ma. So my friend said if you want it to be light, right, you cannot put T47. T47 the cable can be internal.
Because it's much more larger.
Yeah. But if you want a light, if that's your priority, then that's the way to go.
And I was telling you now, most of the new road bikes these days, the bottom bracket section is getting huge, like a TT bike, right? And it makes those bikes with a small bottom bracket section look super old.
Yeah,
like
for
this
sure.
kind of the frames, right, where it's just literally just the bottom bracket there.
Right.
Makes it look very old school, right? But do you think there is a performance benefit in having a bigger bottom bracket section?
For me, no. For me, for my level of fitness, no. But I guess if you are a big guy and you can put out those kind of 4-digit peak power, right? I guess can feel, you know. Because my buddies who are putting out, say, 900, 1000, that kind, right? To them, really, they can tell that. Not they can tell. They feel that this particular bike really press only go. Yeah, but for me, I'm not that kind of so high level. So no.
And finishing touches, what handlebar and stem is this?
Handlebar was just some aluminium bar that my friend found.
I saw it was Uno, right?
Yeah. So we just whatever was there lah, as long as short reach lah, and aluminium lah for bike packing lah. Then the stem I chose, so was fortunate enough to find one 110 stem and the angle that I want lah.
How do you know what is the stem length that you need and the angle?
For me, I had to try and error.
Same like me. So when I started, right, I bought so many stems, different angle, different lengths, just to try.
Sure.
Right? Then we should come on to the topic of bike fitting. Like, why don't you just go for a bike fit and get all this sorted rather than trying different things?
True. So I didn't have to have so many stems, thankfully. So I bought only one. Previously was 100, but I just felt that, and it was okay at the start. I felt that it's fine. But after a while, right, I find, how come it feels so high? So I said, maybe like not correctly. Then if you are going very hard effort, I find that feel a bit cramped, like no space, need to stretch out a bit. Yeah, then I thought, okay lah, why don't we maybe time to try something different?
Yep.
So because this bike's geometry is a bit more forgiving than SL6, so no choice lor. We just try one slightly longer. And then change the angle a bit, and turned out quite good lah. Yeah.
Okay, and then so now I want to talk about bike fitting.
Yeah, okay, sure.
Because I have gotten comments of people telling me that now I'm filming at this place, and my views changed that because I'm filming here, I believe in a bike fit now. I wouldn't say I believe, but I would say it's recommended for people if you don't know what you're doing, if you want a shortcut. And I think I'm not sure if a bike fit will benefit me. I might probably make content out of it, going to Gary and do a bike fit. But it's more, to me, I feel it's like a health checkup kind of thing. Like I've been so fixed to this position to the point where that if a bike fit were to do anything to it, it's going to just correct my mistakes. And I don't want to know that. You know, it's like a health checkup kind of thing. Like you have cancer somewhere, but you don't want to know.
Right. Okay.
Did you go for a bike fit?
I've never been for one, but all my friends have. So they've given up on asking me to go lah. Yeah.
It's like a health checkup, right? Like telling my dad to keep going for a health checkup.
Yes. And it's I guess it's like a form of insurance.
Yeah.
So all my friends have gone for one, and then some have quite drastic changes to
for the better.
The fit. Yeah. I don't know whether the result is positive or not, but the changes to the saddle position and so on, it happened. And then, but there are those that all the bike fitter did at the end was adjust the clip, because that was all that was wrong. So I guess it depends on your risk appetite lah. Whether you just like buying insurance law, whether you think you're going to die tomorrow or not lah. Simple as
but
that.
Nobody knows.
Exactly. So I didn't go for one because I found that at first I didn't have any pain, and then because I was surrounded by friends who are very experienced, so we just moved. I've only experienced pain once, and that is only at very specific efforts. And he said, okay, why don't you just try moving your saddle forward 2 mm? And it worked. Yeah.
Just playing around with the position.
Very small changes, because they didn't seem to be much needed. And then at the same time, it's not as though my fitness is, super, where I'm trying to extract, where I am trying to extract every single ounce, but maybe it's not about the fit. It's about me. Yeah, maybe I lack of discipline, or it's about the training.
And also for me, if I don't ride for so long, because my bike position is quite aggressive, I've slammed the stem, I got a bit longer stem, it's 110. If I don't cycle for a week and I get back on the bike, right, my whole entire body gets numb.
So why not?
Some people will argue, bro, maybe your bike fit is off. You need to go for a bike fit. But I personally think that if I were to ride more, my body will get accustomed to it. I'm not sure. I really don't know. But for me, if I've been consistently cycling quite often, I don't get those pains anymore. It's just that if I'm off the bike for some time and then I go on it, right? Maybe because the setup is very aggressive. So
yes.
I get that kind of pain.
I would have to agree with that. I mean, even if let's say a new guy goes for a bike fit, I think any proficient bike fitter would tell them that it will change in future. Because if you cycle consistently, you must get better, right? You must get stronger. And if you're always wanting to go faster, then your demands will change along the way. So it won't be the last visit lah. It's not that I must earn your money, but that's the fact of life, ma.
Yeah.
You get better, then you must adjust, ma.
Yeah.
So
you give a very good example just now of your friend who was on recommended a wrong type of bike. That's a very nice, I wouldn't say nice, but I think a very interesting story to share.
So like you said earlier on before we started shooting, right? Bike fitting really is like they are like the doctors lah, right? Because it's a practice. There are a set of rules in their business, but it depends, right? That's the biggest caveat. It depends on who you are, what you've been doing, and then they go according to that, right? But as we finding anybody who is running a practice, you got to find somebody that's really trustworthy lah. As in anything else, but this one really because you are really paying for their time. So the story I have is one of my friends went for a pre-bike fit, right? So I guess the desired outcome of the pre-fit is for the fitter to tell you should be riding this particular bike based on your needs, wants, and what your body can accept.
So a pre-bike fit is a kind of fit where you would go to that service and then they would kind of recommend what kind of bike that you should get. So meaning the person has not gotten the bike yet.
Yes, okay. That's right. Yeah. So she already went in with a preconceived idea of what bike she wants. And the outcome of the fit was those bikes are based on the numbers of the fit, those bikes are not for her. Shouldn't be for her.
The bike that she wanted to get.
Yes. But the fitter encouraged her to get it. For whatever reason, I don't know. But the numbers are in contrast to what the recommended bike should be.
So it was just ill-advised by that specific
I
fitter.
don't know. I really don't know. Because I wasn't there. It's a story related to me by my friend.
And then you were telling me about the spaces, like how bike manufacturers should not have the spaces there.
I mean, if they're going to sell bikes lah. Like my example earlier one is like a sports bike, right? A R1, if anybody is familiar, R1 or something like that looks like a MotoGP bike. I mean, you will never see a manufacturer put boxes on it, ma. Never what? Yeah, so if they are selling a race bike that, I don't know, Peter Sagan is riding or something, unlikely that most pros who race and ride a race bike will have a stack of spaces on top. So if let's say they start off with a stack of spaces, I think any bike fitter will tell them, since you got a race bike, I guess maybe move towards this path and then progressively, then you can really extract the performance. If we are talking about aero, because that's what the marketing tells us, right? This is aero, so on and so forth. So then make it aero lah. Ride it aero lah. Yeah, if not, then maybe it's not the bike for you. So I think a bike fitter should give them a reality, like the real news that if what you want is just something comfortable, can take you 160k and get you there in one piece, then maybe this bike is for you. But most people, I guess they understand as well lah, that manufacturers don't concentrate on high performance endurance bike, right? Because maybe it's not meant for high performance anyway. Then you spend the money that that you earn the way you want lor. Buy a race bike and just as long as you're happy lah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because my view is the best bike is the bike that you will ride lah.
Yeah.
If you see it, you like the color, you like how it looks, you will ride it. That's the best bike already lor.
Yeah, I know. Like I seen very high, like you said, right, high performance bikes. You just take for example maybe a Dogma F SL7 with super high stack. Something is wrong somewhere.
I prefer that it's not there lah.
Yeah.
I mean, or if have a few is okay lah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if like it's like there's some of the pictures I see, and then I see, wow, like this, I'm thinking like, I don't think the manufacturer meant for it to be that way. If they did, and carbon is a material where you can form unique shapes, then they can jolly well build a head tube that is high ma. Why bother building a 100M head tube and then have, I don't know what, 3cm of spacer on top? Like, don't make sense. You know, of course, some pros also don't slam, but they got no choice. They must ride that bike because that's what they are sponsored to ride. So
you are saying that the newbies, if you know, they should go for a endurance frame?
No, they should follow whatever the bike fitter say lor. If they can find a good bike fitter lah. Yeah. If they want to ride a race bike, then it's their money. Then they just have to accept that this is how it's going to look lor.
But for those who are listening, I hope they don't just slam the stem tomorrow.
Yeah. I mean, it's up to them lah. They can go down. I mean, all of us go down progressively also ma.
No, so I did a mistake when I first bought my bike, right? So my earlier days, right? I look at all these pros like, wow, long stems, slam all the way. I want to be like them. Without thinking, right? I went to the bike shop. I say, cut the steerer, put it all the way. Then you from this one go to this? There's no reversal of it. And it's like, yeah, just cut and give me put a 140mm stem. I did it. And then I did like a 100-kilometer ride, dude. It was a regret of my life, you know, because my back was hurting. I was like so stretched out. That time bike fitting was not a thing yet lah. Bike fitting was more reserved for the elite. You know, so not like now where bike fitting is readily available everywhere.
Right. I see. Okay.
So just to put it out there that don't slam just for the sake of slamming and buying a long stem, right? It really has to fit you, you know. Yeah.
I would think so. Yeah. I mean, with time, I guess your body will change lah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you see, if you don't ride for a week, right, and you feel it, yeah, for sure. But if you don't give it a chance to get better, then
yeah. And how do people get, in your opinion, how do you think people can slowly get into the aero position?
Wow.
Ride more or yoga?
I don't think yoga is needed because I'm not flexible myself.
But you've pretty decent drop.
But I'm not flexible. That one I know for a fact. Yeah, if I stand straight and first try to touch my toes, right, I can't lah. Yeah, for sure I can't lah. Unless maybe 2-3 times, then my mind tune a bit, right? Okay, yes. Yeah. But at the first go, probably not. So I'm not very flexible. It's just that maybe I ride a little bit more than most people. Maybe, I'm not sure also. Then I think you ride more, you will automatically want something from your bike. Or maybe you mix with a different crowd.
Yeah.
Maybe. And then they may tell that, hey, why don't you try this since you are so fit now? Why don't you try this? Or maybe you feel better. Yeah. Or if you are maybe subtly influenced by the company that you keep, then yeah, I guess possible. But anybody who rides often, I guess can just consider removing one spacer lah. I don't think it will.
One spacer at a time.
Yeah, I don't think it will hurt that much. Yeah.
And you said you primarily use this bike for a lot of bike touring.
At the moment, that's my priority lah. Like bike touring.
Tell us some of the places you've been.
Mostly is Malaysia lah. Malaysia, Taiwan, this kind of place lah. But Malaysia is the best lah. And
this bike is ideal for touring for you?
Titanium? At the moment, I haven't done a tour on this bike. So all my tours have been on carbon bikes. So hopefully Taiwan will be with this bike lah. And then we will go from there lor.
Okay. Any more upgrades you think you'll be making to the bike?
Wow. I don't think so leh. Unless my fitness can justify it lah. But my fitness is, I mean, there's only one way to go right at my age. It's down one ma. So I don't think so lah. Yeah, probably not lah. Only if let's say we do really go for an event in July, then maybe make it a little bit lighter lor. But it's not a big deal also. It's just change one saddle, change one handlebar. I mean, I don't think I can lighten it very much more lah.
Yeah. You did Stelvio in Italy. It's an interesting route.
It's just one road only lah. Won't get lost one.
Yeah. So which is the most interesting place you've been on the bike?
Interesting I wouldn't say interesting place because for me my requirement is very straightforward. As long as it's got very low traffic light count, right? I'm quite happy.
Anywhere outside of Singapore will have low
Yeah,
traffic lights.
mostly, yeah. So actually, interesting place, I can't really tell you because I'm there really only to ride my bike. Like as long as the surroundings are quite safe, the roads are quite okay, right? I'm happy lah. So but interesting experience will be Cameron lah. Because I'm a fair weather rider, happy to admit it. But that Cameron really is rain from the base until the top lah. So that is the only. But really, Malaysians are very very kind one. Yeah, you can be really middle of the night or in the middle of nowhere, knock on the door and ask for help. Right? I've never been refused help.
I'm sure if you do it in someone's HDB here, they won't refuse you also.
I think very difficult because first of all, I'm a male one, and not say I'm a young male, you know. So if somebody who is drenched and then in the middle of nowhere cannot speak Bahasa Melayu, no, you don't ask you for food. I think most human being in Singapore were like, huh? Ask me for food, bro, you okay or not? Yeah, but
Go to the hawker center downstairs.
yeah. But in at that time, yeah, I was hoping for the coffee shop lah, but it wasn't open at that hour. So really no choice, knock on somebody's door, then they really help you one. Yeah, really will help you one.
Yeah.
So I very good experience lah so far. I go Malaysia.
In Malaysia.
Yeah.
And you said another interesting story about I asked you whether aren't you afraid of getting robbed in Malaysia? A lot of people in Singapore have that conception that go Malaysia get robbed.
Maybe I look poor lah, so
Nobody wants to
because I
rob you.
don't carry much also.
Yeah.
Right. And then even if rob also, I don't think they rob one bicycle not worth it ma. Want to rob is rob maybe 10 bicycle lah.
Yeah, which is a story you were sharing.
Yeah, this was many years ago already. So a bunch of Singaporeans took the ferry from Singapore to Desaru, and then once from there you commute towards the more populated areas, you have to go through oil palm plantations. So there's really nowhere to run if somebody want to rob you. So the story was about 10 to 15 bikes. They unloaded, were making their way there, then one lorry come, a few men with a few parang, and tell them all the bike come up. Then story finish already.
How did they go home after that?
Yeah. So I'm sure you can get home, especially now. Even Desaru there is Grab lah, so no problem. But this was many years ago. This was when I first started cycling already. Yeah, those were the horror stories. But I really never experienced anything but kindness lah in Malaysia. From the fruit seller to the hotel people who always let me check in early one. Really, yeah, and they don't ask me for money.
Yeah,
they really just okay. You are here. We have the room. Just go up lah. Yeah. So all the small things Right. So I great love to cycle in Malaysia lah for me personally. Okay. Yeah.
I've got some questions on Instagram.
Yeah. Sure.
So this person say it's a nightmare trying to keep your chains clean.
Yes.
What chain is this? It's a very colorful chain.
It's a SUMC chain.
So reason behind these chains?
Just vanity only lor.
For the color.
Yes. That's the only reason.
Is it tough to keep these chains clean?
I wouldn't say so. It may look tough, but I spend probably about 20 minutes to half an hour a week on really taking care of it.
Are you on wax or lube?
I'm on wax. I'm not, but drip wax. As in not in the boiler pot lah. Yeah.
Okay.
So once a week I will degrease and then.
How do you degrease your wax? Just pour hot water over it?
No. I will use a rag that I will never use again to clean off whatever I can first. And then one round of degreaser with agitation, and then rinse off, and then one more round, and then okay lah, that's it lor. And then dry it, clean away the degreaser with water, and that's pretty much it lah. Dry it, and then that's okay lah.
Do you think wax is the way forward, or
like the drip lube, drip lube wax, right? Yeah. That's for me lah. I tried that boiler wax.
You tried it?
Yeah, I've tried it. I can't live with it lah.
Why? Too much work?
My friend said because the wax I use is the lousy one, so it flakes off quite easily, and then it wasn't as simple as using hot water to clean off all the wax. Yeah, it wasn't an easy process for me, but my friends use it and they're happy with it.
I know people say if they use those kind of wax, you need multiple chains just to
it can make your life a bit easier. Yeah, you can do it one shot.
Yeah,
but I didn't go that route lah.
I feel like it's a lot of work to be doing that. Like you gotta buy a boiler pot, then you got to buy the wax.
Just
boil
one time
it.
lor.
Yeah, but
One time lah.
I don't know. I'm very lazy.
But there's
Later my
somebody-
wife might use that boiler pot to cook chicken or
Won't
whatever.
lah. There's no way she will make a mistake lah. No way, no way. But I think on Carousel there are people who offer the service.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, I believe so. So you can just send your chains to them lah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm more
yeah.
of a DIY guy, so I do everything myself.
Then for me, I just use tube lah. Especially if I go backpacking. I mean, how am I going to? They have solutions for that you can boil your wax and so on and carry with you. But no lah. I will just use strip bags lah. Yeah, very very effective so far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe just two more questions.
Yeah, sure,
short
sure.
of time.
Yeah.
Why titanium and not steel? I know you got titanium because your friend was starting this, but ever thought
Right.
of trying steel?
No. I'm told that, and I've read that titanium is lighter. I don't know about the truth, but that's what the articles say. So that's the only reason. Not steel, but yeah.
Maybe one day your friend starts doing steel, then you might get a steel bike also.
Well, probably not lah. I'm told that the steel will have a higher risk of corrosion. It should be painted, and then so far, right? I think most steel frames, are in the region of maybe 1.7, 1.8 kilo. So again, I don't think it will make a performance difference for my fitness, but it's just my mind. Yeah, my OCD mind.
It's a heavy bike.
Yeah. Just hear that, although on paper probably, in practical use, probably no difference. But just myself lah, I can't cross the bridge myself lah. Yeah.
Last question.
Yeah.
Why did you choose the mechanical brakes?
Because I'm not capable of bleeding hydros myself, especially if let's say I go touring, right?
Yeah.
And then I lose braking power along the way. I have to find a bike shop. So I'm not saying that Malaysia got no bike shop. I'm just saying that if I'm in the middle of nowhere and really got no bike shop, then how?
And you must be very well prepared to be doing all this long touring, right? Because you do such long distances, you might have all the tools that you keep with you.
No. I don't have to bring much lah. You have to bring a few Allen keys, like loose Allen keys. For mine, because the brakes are not auto, the brake pads, they don't adjust by themselves like hydros, right? So I bring a size 3, and then tire levers, spare tube, pump, battery charger. Okay lor.
And
Don't have to bring so much.
Right. And reason why you're not on tubeless?
I don't trust it lah at the moment. Yeah. I just don't want to be. I mean, the ultimate solution of tubeless, if you are really stuck out there, is to put the tube in. That's what the manufacturers themselves say. It really bo pian. Throw a tube in. Walao, just think of the sealant down there. Either in the hot sun, or worse still, in the rain.
So you hope that the sealant will work for you,
You can,
which is the purpose, right?
Which I also hope that my normal clincher don't puncture lah. But if it does, I'm sure that I can fix it. I'm dead sure that okay, I just take out one tube, put inside, check that got no extra debris or any staples stuck in the tire. Likelihood, I can get going. Likelihood, good chance. But tubeless, maybe not leh. Yeah. And because I practice rotating tires. Like
That's what I do also, because the real
1,000
one wears out faster.
Yeah. So every 1,000 I swap.
Yeah.
Bro, how?
With tubeless, right?
Yeah, the sealant.
And you got to
is still-
pump sealant in every, I don't know how many months you got to top up the sealant as
I'm
well.
not sure because I got no experience with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't trust myself. Really, I don't trust myself to be so patient and to seat the tire and have extra equipment and have valves when the ultimate solution, if you are stuck out there, is to throw a tube in. I mean, that cannot be the solution lah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Until one day this becomes better like mountain bike or what, then maybe I don't know. Yeah.
That's all the questions I have.
Okay.
Last closing remarks, if you have anything about the bike on your frame, to people who are watching out there who might want to get it.
I mean, it's better than it turned out better than I expected. Yeah. So the one thing that people say about titanium that is it is buttery smooth. It is not true. It is marginally smoother. So like certain car parks, they have those bricks, right? That's laid out on the ground, right? So yes, really I can feel. But I don't think it's because it was meant to be that way. I don't think so. It's just simply because titanium is not as stiff as carbon. That's pretty much it lah. Yeah, if you make titanium, build a bike made out of titanium and make it as stiff as carbon, I mean the physics, I don't think it can lie that much. You probably find that it feels the same as carbon in terms of road bars, just that it's heavier lah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's marginal lah, marginal at best.
Everything is marginal. So like a OSPW, which you don't have one here.
Yeah, right. I that's not for me lah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Charn, for coming out so much.
Thanks very much.
Everyone, Charn.
Okay.
I lost myself again. You hit it just like a drug.